Hi, I'm Bob Lang, Senior Editor of Popular Woodworking Magazine. Today I'm working on a bookcase, and it's all solid wood, and the shelves are going to be dadoed into the sides. So what I'm looking for is a quick way to cut those dados. I want them to be accurate, and I want them to be easy to place, and I don't want to take all day to do this. I'm going to be using my router with a top-mounted bearing to cut the dados. And it starts with this jig, which is simply a straight piece that goes against the edge of the board and another cross piece that's been screwed down at a 90-degree angle, and that's going to locate the cutter. Now I need to hit the exact width, and this is always a problem when you're making dados, is getting the groove to fit the board nice and sweet. So I've got another piece of plywood, and I'm going to clamp that across this scrap piece from my shelf. And then when I have both ends in place, this has given me a precise spacing based on the thickness of the wood. And I'm just using a couple number 8 by 1.25 inch screws to hold these fence pieces to the stock. Now on the other end, I'm concerned I don't want these two pieces to flex apart as I'm cutting. So I'm going to put another piece on this end just to hold the two together. And because I'm registering off the front, I'm not really concerned about this distance in here. In fact, I'm deliberately leaving it a little wider than the shelf just so it doesn't get in the way. I'm going to make a test cut to see if my jig really works the way I think it will. These two lines are the width of the dados that I want to cut, and the spacing on the jig should be exactly the same as that. So when I go to cut things for real, I can use the edges of my guide to line up with my layout marks and make the cut. I've got the router set up so that the dado is going to be 3/16 inch deep. So I also need the space for the thickness of my jig fence. So this bearing is going to ride along the edges of the fence as I make the cut. Now, because this is solid wood, there's a little bit of a bow in it that you can hardly see. And so I might need a little bit of persuasion to get that completely in it. But I have what I was aiming for. I've got a nice tight fit all the way along both sides of my dado. Well, because my test cuts worked, I'm just full of self-confidence, and I'm going to go ahead and route the dados in the sides of my case. The jig, as I said before, there's a notch at the bit cut, and that lines up with my layout marks. Now, as I come in, I'm going to push it against this fence, go all the way across, and then I'm going to come back, and I'm going to push it across, holding it against this fence. Now, the reason that I'm doing that is I'm working off the front edge of the board, and I don't want the router bit to tear out as it exits the cut. So that's why I'm coming in from the front, both directions. I already have the sides laid out, so it's just a matter of moving down, lining up with my marks, and clamping down the jig. Now, as I'm cutting, I do want to be sure that I'm getting a consistent depth, so I'm making sure I'm pushing down with the router as I get out here, just in case this part of the jig raises up a little bit. Both directions.